All right, guys. Good evening or good morning, good afternoon. So trust you're all doing well. So you're gonna do a very quick tutorial on how to design this flyer or maybe this flyer, depending on whatever that you are gonna use it for. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is to load in a paper by just pressing Control N, and once we press Control N, we will just select the paper that we want to use, and we're going to use maybe A4, A5 that we're going to use. So we just put in the paper, and what we're going to do next is that we need to put in that is the background image. That is the image we have here, or the image that we have here, right? So just try to create layers as which one should come first. So let's create the background image first. So I will just press Control O, then I will load my image. Then I'm gonna insert this image into the software. Okay, so once it's in, I will just have to either just unlock it and drag it to where I'm working by double clicking on the lock there, and I will just drag it to where I'm working. It's too small, don't worry. So I just press Ctrl T to enhance it, to increase the size, make sure that it fits, and then I can increase. I'll just put it on top here or something like this. It's okay. Now once I'm done with this one, I need to create that is the cover, that's the shade, like the green or whatever that it is, the color on it, like this one. I have to create that one. So how do I do that? So I will just go to my rectangle, the shapes. I'll choose rectangle, and I will hover on the whole thing like this, and I'll have my green color. I don't like this green, so let me go and change it to maybe a bit of green. So I'll just come to, and I'll pick maybe a color that I want. For instance, maybe I want to use this one. It's okay. Then once I'm done with this one, there are a couple of ways we can use to use the gradient, but I'm going to teach you the very simple one because we are all starting. First of all, I will just have to rasterize this layer, the one I just created, that so just to convert it from the shape to just a normal picture, right? So once I have it this way, now I can just go and pick my eraser. I'll choose the eraser tool, and I'll right click, then I will set the how big I want the eraser to be, and I can start. This one is too small, so I will just make it a bit bigger, and with the hardness I'll choose 0, and I can start working on it like this. So I can just play with it, so maybe I get what I want like this. If this one is okay, that is fine. So once I get it like this, what I'm going to do next is to try to create that is the logo. Then I'll add the text and the other ones. So let's add the logo, right? So I don't need this one, so I just close it. No, don't save. Now let me add my logo. So Control O to browse through. So I'll just say Control O, then I'll go and browse through. I'll get my logo, and most of the times once you bring in the logo, you may have it to be maybe it have a lot of things around it, or you just want to cut some part of it. So first of all, I want to cut where I want to use, so I'll just select this tool here, then I will just hover on it like this, then I'll cut it, right? And I'll just go to where I'm working and Control V, I'll paste it, and I'll position it at where I want to place it, right? But it's kind of having some sort of um white around it. I don't want it. Okay, so let's go to the eraser, and we will just pick the magic eraser. Then we use to erase everything around it. I get it. And let's erase the white in here, and this one, and the white in the. So now that we have arranged it, like we want it to be top there, so Control T again, and we will make it a bit smaller like this. It's fine now. So now what we're going to do next is to start adding that is, let's say, the text and the images. Okay, we are going to add the text and the images. So we have the text here and the images. Okay, so now let's quickly just go through again. And so right now what I'm going to do next is that I want to try to set in some lines. So let's say that the images down there is going to be in this. right? And maybe it's going to be here. And the contact details, it's also going to be let's see here, right? It's going to be on this line. I'm trying to set line so that we can see this line is going to be the last one. The image is going to be here, and going to have the service is going to be here, and modern homes for sale is going to be on this side, right? So I'm just trying to create. So I'm just bringing this ruler here, and I will say that okay. Now the modern homes is going to be at this side. The image is going to be here and here and here, and the service is going to be at this side. Okay, don't worry about the lines. After once we're done, we can take them off. So let me do it with the first one, that is with the, let's say, the modern home. So I just select and I'll just start typing, and I will say it's too small, don't worry. Control A. Let me increase the size of the text, of which you've learned this already, and let's use that it's um maybe light for that, and let's use modern. So modern, let's make it all caps, MODER, modern, and let's use whites for that. We just select our color, then we say modern should be this. Let me try to set a rule to enable us to know I getting it. So this, that is, we just want to know where this is starting. I getting it, the line here, modern home for sale. So we're gonna use that as the next one, going to be home. I'll bring my mouse down here, and I will say that one is gonna be home, so HOME, and the last one is going to be, that is for sale, right? But this one we are going to use, you're not going to use that is light, we're gonna use that is maybe bold. Okay, bold, and we can increase the size. I get it. And let's that one also be close to this one, and let's click outside and see what we have. But I see there's a space between the home and the for sale, so let me not close that by just Control A to select all. We come to this menu here, then we will try to just close it. That is the first one, the auto here. We just have to try to close it a bit. Okay, that is fine. And we can also make it bold, and we will just say that's okay, and we have it this way. So I can just position it where I want it, like this, modern home for sale. But we check that with the modern, the home, it's having a different color. So let's go back to it and see it's having this green, and the for sale it's all right. I get it. So we're just going to change the home to a green color. Okay, so let's go back to where we are working, and we will just select only the home. I first click on the text. Now I come and click in there, then I'll just highlight over the home. I'll come to my color here, then I'll just pick the color that I want for sale, right? Now we have it this way. Okay, so now what we're gonna do next is to have that it's the paragraph text under it, like this one. We are going to, how we're going to add, are you living abroad, blah 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 blah. So we just want to write the same thing over there. So we will just come here, and we will just start. It's going to be big. We're just going to pick our text. I getting it. Then we start writing. I getting it. So let me zoom in, and I can break this one into maybe two, like standing here. Then I'll just hit enter, and I can just position this one here, right? Now I can let it go a bit up like this, and I'll say okay, right? I just type it, like I just copy and paste, but maybe you can type. Okay, and we just go to the last one, that is, we have whatever it is. So maybe I'm just want to copy this one to as well, or you just going to type it. Okay, so once we are here, we just have to pick another text. Okay, then we just under it here, then we just type or paste it over there, right? We can change the size or increase the size that we want. Okay, and we are good to go. And you just type it, and you choose the color that you choose for the same thing. So just that may let's think that maybe we don't want it this green, okay, and we want maybe red or something. I'll just select all the text like this, select all. I'll come to the color here, then I'll pick maybe yellow for it, and tada, it changes. Okay, now what you're gonna do next is to put the service here, right? So I'll just type here service, then I'll put the various bullets down there. Let me show you. So we're gonna have like service underline, then we have some sort of bullet there, then we can put what we are doing over there. I getting it. So what I'm gonna do is to just to write so we just go there where we are working, that it's okay here. So I'll just come here somewhere here, then I'll just put the service, and I'll just type it's too small. Let me increase the size a bit. Okay, so I can just put it here like this. Okay, and I can just go to this side, and I can go and underline it. Okay, I'll just underline it there, then we are good to go. But let's check it again. Maybe you see that it's being underlined at a different color. If you don't want it that way, you just have to go back to it and you change the color by just undo the underline. Okay, then you just come to your shape, and once you come to your shape, what you're going to do under the shape is just select that is a rectangular or line here, then you just have to put it under here, then we can just change the color of that one to maybe an even given color that you want, and we can set the size. It's too big, it's too big. We can check the color of whatever we want, and we say okay, then we have it. We can just let it go down a bit. What we're going to do next is to do the other things like what we do. Okay, so that one still under there. Here we can just select a circle, that is the eclipse, and let me zoom in, and maybe let me push this one here a bit. So I'll just put one here. I'll show you how to create those kind of the check in there. So let's, for now, let me just use that it's the colors. Later we'll just learn how to do that one, and you hold the alt key to duplicate them to maybe one or two or three, whatever the number that you want, right? So I just zoom out, and now you can just go and you just have to, you're going to type that is um this and that and that and that. Okay, we're going to type the service that we offer, so we can just, I just want to copy from here. Okay, then I'll just come here or wherever we are working. I'll come and start. The first one is going to be maybe X, so I'll just type X in there. So I'll just type maybe seal of X. It's too small. Control H, select all. Then I will just increase, that is the size of whatever that I want to do. So I just have to increase the size in here like this, and once we have it there, we just have to, if you want to do um, very fast, you just have to hold the alt key, then you split them like this, and once you are done, you can now double click on each, right, and you can now change them to maybe sale of X to a different thing, right? So you can now change this one to maybe backs or whatever that you want to change them to. Okay, so now that we have it this way, let's focus on the latter part of it. Okay, how we can do the last part of it. So we're going to look at how we can set the image here. You just have to go to your shape tool, select your rectangular tool, and let's draw. We want to put one image here, right? And it's, don't worry about it. So let me make it white. Now I need three of them, so I'll just hold my alt key. I'll hold my alt key to split it into three, and it's too big, so I'll delete them, and let me resize the first one. Okay, so let me resize the first one. Let me resize the first one to maybe this, so that I can have all the three shapes going in here for me, right? So I'll just duplicate them again, and again to have a 3, but then it's not, so I can just move this one here a bit, or better still I can just um, reduce the size of this one again so that at least I can have an even size, right? As I have it this way, what I'm gonna do is to make sure that I'll just duplicate this one and we are good to go. So I'll just duplicate this one and I can duplicate this one as well. And at the end of the day, you're gonna have that it's in this way. So what I'm gonna do next is to just try to use the line here to try to create it this way, okay, to make sure that everything is online, okay, everything is online. And I will do this. Sorry guys, I have a terrible background noise, so don't worry about that. So we're gonna maneuver our way through. I'll make sure that it's kind of this way. So now let's learn how we are going to insert in the various that it's the images in there, right? How you gonna do that? So we select the first one by just holding the control key or just clicking on it. Then we just go and browse where we have the image, right? So we just have to go and browse where we have the image, control O. Then we just select the first image we want to insert in, and once it's loaded into the software, we just have to drag it to where we are going to do it, okay. So I will just open it this way, and to make it more simple for you, just select your this Mercury tool and just have to drag it over it like this, and we just have to select it like this, and we control exit, we go to where we are working and we just press control V, we paste it. It's gonna be too big, don't worry. You select the movie tool, you click on it and you drag it on it like this, okay. And don't worry, once it's on top of it, you come back to the layer here, you right click, you see that create a clipping max, then you create a clipping max, okay. So first of all, let me do it again. Let me just do it again. So we have this one as the first one here. So once my hand is on it, I'll just paste it here. I'll just drag it here, and once I drag it here, what I'm going to do is to just press right click on this one, then I'll go to create a clipping max and it's in. But you can't see it, so you just press Ctrl T so that it will enable you to adjust it the size you want, right? So once what you want to show in there, you are good to go. And let's do it for the other ones as well. So I will come to the second one, that is the one here in the middle. I want to verify, yes, it's this one. So once it's this, what I'm going to do next is to press Ctrl O again. Let me close this ones, I don't need them. Okay, so then the middle one is going to be that of, so I'll press Ctrl O, then I will select that it's this uncompleted building, and then I'll load into the software. After loading into the software, what I'm going to do next is to just to open it, and we're going to use the same approach. Let's cut that one too. So I'll select the cutting, Ctrl X, I'll cut, then I'll come here, Control V, then I paste. I'll just drag it to where I want to use it, Control T, then I can adjust it a bit. Don't worry if it's not fitting, you just have to right click and you just create a clip and max, then it's in. Let's do for the land, and with the land tool with the same thing, Control O, and then we just double click and it's in. And once it's in, I don't want her to use the drag because we are now starting, so dragging to that side might be a bit tedious for you. Don't worry, select after they move into the next tool that is there, that is the rectangular Mercury tool. Select it and now cut there where the image, select all like this, Control X, you cut it and you go to where you are working, then Control V, you paste it, right? But make sure that it's on top of this um, rectangle you created, right? On top of it, and now you select your moving tool, you bring it on top of it. Don't worry, it's showing this way. Then you right click on it, create a clipping mask, then you are good to go. Now let's look at the last aspect of it, that it's the contact details over there, okay. As we advance, I'll teach you how to do these ones around it, okay, but let's do the contact and we are good to go. So this one is just creating the shape, and we put in the contact icons there. Okay, so let's go to here, the last aspect. Let's zoom in. So you're going to put it at this side, okay, this side, or maybe in between this. So first of all, I'll select my shape, and with the shape I will just make it a white. Okay, and I'll just put the contacts on it like this. So what I'm gonna do is to change the color of this one to white. Okay, and I'm just going to write on contacts. So it's too small, let me increase the size. So contacts, right, and I'll just have to increase the size a bit, right, and I can choose, maybe I want it to be that is light for it, and let's change it from it being to maybe any color at all that we want. You can't see, but let me move it to, I get in it, so we can just put it here, if we want to put it here, right. So let's check, double check. Okay, so we have contact us, so let's check it, make it contact us, right. So I'll just come here and I will say contact us, and I'll change from light to maybe let's use medium, and let's reduce the size small, and we're gonna have it this way. All right, so now we can position it where we want to position it, maybe in the middle. Just if this is okay, maybe it's too small, we can also increase the size of it by just control A. Then what we're going to do is to increase the size a bit, and now we reposition it where we want to position it, right. So the next we're going to do is to put in the contacts information. Okay, so we're going to just put in the telephone numbers and all those ones. Okay, you just have to create this one. So these icons, you can just download them from Google, right, by just going to Google, download core icons, and you just download one, and you just have to use it. Okay, so we can just go and download core icons, and we just use the core icons over there. All right, so what you're going to do next is to just to put in the contact information. So the contact information, I'll just go back to where we are working, and I'll just start with the contacts, and I'll just type in 024. You can't see because it's already using a different color, so I want to change it to white, and now 02. So I'll just have to type the number that I want to use. So that is 0243870420, and maybe let me add a country code to it. That is plus 233 into brackets 0 into 0, and I'll just reduce the font size of this one as well to a given font size that I want, and I will just have to maybe duplicate that one by just, so let's assume that this is your core icon that maybe you downloaded. Okay, you download from the internet, and let me change the color of the one to this is the icon you download from the internet. Okay, put it here, and what you're going to do next is to just try to have this one here, duplicate it, right. So we just either use the control J to duplicate it, and we just have to drag it down. Okay, then we drag this one down, we have the contact there, and we are going to do for that of the emails, right. So with the email, to the same thing that we are going to do for the email, right. So I'll just have to drag this one by holding the Alt key or by Control J, and I will just have to just change this one to the email that I want to use. Okay, I'm going to change this one to the email I want to use, and this one going to be Nana. So let me change it to lowercase. So Nana at gmail.com, right. And the website is also going to be, maybe let me just use the line here so that I can just use to mark it. So this one should be go up a bit, and let's go back here, and let me use a line there to gauge it. Okay, and I will just gonna say that let this one, I'm going to duplicate this one for the website. Okay, so the website is going to be, maybe I will just say that, okay, www.nana, that is dot org, right? Then I'll just go and look for the, go online, browse the various icon. Then I'll use it for that. It's, let's say, the call and the email. I can just zoom in and I will just have to create those. Either I want to create them single, or I would just have to create them. I'm not connected to the internet now, so that's why. So you can just browse call icon, or just, you can just connect it to it. Okay, and now we are good to go. We are done with our design. So let's take the lines off, and you just have to just take it, drag it to wherever that you want it, and you are good to go. Okay, let me drag this one to off, and this one to off, and this one off, and this one off. So now let's try to save it. Now that we are done, first of all, always try to save your work as a PSD file. So Control Shift S. Now you just, maybe my first design, and you have to make it sure that maybe it's a PSD file first, then you save it, right? And after that, now let's save it as a picture, the one that we can share with people. Okay, how do we save that one too? So that's Control Shift S again, or you just have to go to that it's file, under file you just go to that it's save as. Okay, so you just go to save as, and with the save as, we just have to change it from the PSD file to that it's JPEG or PNG. Let's use JPEG. We select JPEG, then we save it. Okay, now we save it to Maxbox, and now we are done. Okay, so now when we close the software and we go to our desktop, we can have our work here complete, and we can share this one to anybody that we want to share with. Okay, thank you guys. I wanted to make it very short, so that you can easily download it or you can use it. Okay, if you have any other question, just let me know.